This edition of Sports Galore is proudly brought to you by Subway. And now, here's your hosts, Mark Allen and Adam Treloar.
G'day everybody, I'm Mark Allen and welcome to Sports Galore. This is Adam Treloar in the Raptors top this week.
It is, mate.
Nice to see you.
110 jerseys I've got.
Hey, I was walking through here at the Holden Centre and noticed that the boys up and about.
Yes.
I was rapt about it. I could hear the talk, I could hear everything, I could see the practice. That's fabulous. Man, have you found that as well?
Yeah, well, obviously disappointing off the back of the performance on the weekend, but we had a review, about where we need to improve. But I think the most important message out of it was just to have each other's back, make sure we come into this next game with a positive attitude, and I suppose look past the weekend, which we reviewed it. We've done everything we need to look at, and now look forward to the Giants, and that's off the back of being positive. So it's good fun out there, mucking around on the sprung floor.
Yeah, I can imagine. It looked like it. Tell me this: becoming a professional footballer. I mean, just shaking off a loss and looking forward to a team like GWS. Is that a mental battle now, or is that something you're used to?
No, it is. It is. It's very tough because you're still dwelling on the weekend, especially, it's been 2 days since we've played. Sunday, you generally think about it, but then you tend to get over it towards the end of the day, and then come Monday, you're sort of over it, but then you got to review the game again, so then you're right back into it. So, that is footy. You got to review it, you got to see where you need to get better at, but then you got to attack the next week with a positive mindset and just try and play the way that we want to play, and that's how we're going to do it this week. And what better way to do it against a quality team in mine and Will's former team and Tay's former team in the GWS Giants?
Well, it's funny because this time last year it was you going back to your first home.
And it was Tay, actually. Tay hadn't played the Giants up in Sydney either, so it was his first game back up there, but obviously I was newer, so it was quite intimidating for me.
Have Will and Tay, have they come and had a word to you about?
No, not really.
What advice
Will
would
has
you give
a little
him?
bit, but I think his exit was a little bit different than mine. I think he needed it for opportunities to play, obviously, at the Pies. So his was a little bit different. I think he'll be welcomed back well and truly there, because I think he was a massive favourite up there, Will. And they'll be pinching themselves that they don't get to have him because he's having a career best year now. But I know he's going to be nervous. He's going to be extremely nervous, and he's going to probably be worried that Shane Mumford's probably going to come in and try and eat him or something. But Will be fine. He'll get out there and he'll be fine. Good luck with him playing on Tom Scully, though, because Sculls runs about 20k a game, and I wouldn't want to do that. So good luck to you, Will.
Good luck, boys, and we'll certainly be watching and cheering for you this week. Now, this week, I love this stuff.
Awesome.
Love it. Conspiracy theories in sports. Sam, well done to you, sir,
it's
our
producer. The best category we've done.
I love them because I believe in them.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a believer in conspiracy theories.
This is probably the second best category down behind that funny names I think we did last year.
Yeah, funny names. We'll get back on that again. Hello, Guac, if you're listening.
Guac will kill Guac.
Yeah, hello, boys.
Yeah, boy.
If you're listening, we're certainly going to get you in the studio here at some stage. Now, the Morris brothers in
Marcus and Markeith Morris.
Marcus and Markeith.
Do you know who they are?
I didn't know who they are, but Sam gave us this picture.
It's ridiculous.
Folks, I can't show the picture. You'll have to look them up.
Identical tattoos.
Identical tattoos,
and
identical chains.
It's not just one tattoo.
No, it's full body stuff.
1,000 tattoos there. Look exactly the same.
Have
you seen this?
What's
Drafted
that?
pick 13 and pick 14, one after the other.
Just ridiculous.
Just ridiculous.
Now, Markeith, now he plays for Washington. He suffered an ankle injury in Game 1 of the NBA playoffs and didn't return to the game. Gone. So in real trouble. Conspiracy theory is that he showed no signs of injury in Game 2 and delivered an impressive performance.
And he played well today as well. He played today and he performed really well today.
So it's not like backing up from one week to the next.
Mate?
It's backing up 2 days later.
And his brother Marcus, who plays for Phoenix, he's obviously out of the playoffs. So
just hanging around.
Conspiracy's there, mate. Maybe he's just sitting in the change room. Maybe the coaches pulled him in and said, mate, if Markeith goes down, we need you. Because I reckon they're the same height as well. And they play the same position. And their strengths, it's just their strength as basketball players are the exact same.
Here's the key. They've admitted to using this strategy in high school. Markeith had been fouled out but snuck on to replace his injured brother.
That's
so
crazy.
They've got form. You can't pick them apart. When I look at that.
It's who's who?
I wouldn't have a clue. What number is? Let's say Marcus is number 13. Just whack on the number 13 jersey. You would not know the difference.
Do you know who my most famous twins I've ever only ever remember in my childhood.
Yeah.
Remember the Logan twins from Big Brother? Do you remember them?
No.
Don't remember? They did the same thing that Marcus and Markeith did.
What?
So there was two Logan twins.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with sport. But this Logan twin, one was in the house,
yeah,
and the other one was in a secret room. It was sort of like a bedroom.
I remember
and then
this.
Every day they'd swap, and no one would get a hold of it until they both eventually came into the house. So there you go.
Can I give you one? Can I give you one? It's about two coaches in the AFL who are basically identical. Both mad golfers when they were about 20 years old. And Brad Scott became a member at Huntingdale where I was a member.
Yeah.
There was only one Scott brother a member. But I'm sure that both of them were playing at the golf club.
Can I say a funny thing
There's
about
a
that,
conspiracy
actually?
theory.
Just a quick funny thing about the Scott
Brad
brothers.
And Chris. Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, go on.
So one of my ex-teammates, Andrew Phillips, he used to play for Carlton. Oh, he plays for Carlton now. I used to play with him at the Giants. And he used to live with Sammy Daly. Anyway, I wasn't with him at the time because Sam and him lived together. And and his knowledge of he's from Tassie. And big donk, Andrew Phillips, big redhead.
Right.
His knowledge of footy is shocking. Knows nothing about footy. And this one time, obviously they're coaching Brad and Chris Scott.
Yeah.
And Chris Scott he knew who Chris Scott was for some reason. I don't know why he knew Chris Scott. And then anyway, he was watching the news and Brad Scott was doing a presser.
Yeah.
So he was doing a press conference. And Andrew Phillips goes, geez, they look a lot like each other, don't they? To Sam. And Sam goes, oh, do they? I think they're identical twins. He goes, what are they? There you go, mate.
No, that's hilarious. That is funny when that stuff happens.
Freaking hilarious. Big donk.
Back on conspiracy theories. This is conspiracy theory number 2. The Super Bowl blackout in 2013. Ravens were up 28-6 before the lights went out. Now, they were flying. They were absolutely smashing San Francisco. And the lights go out. Now, everybody says...
Where was the stadium? It was in San Fran, wasn't it?
I don't know. Well, no, San Fran were playing, weren't they?
I think it was New Orleans from memory.
Neutral venue. Right. Mutual venue. There you go.
Ravens linebacker, Terrell Suggs, Roger Goodall, he never stops. He's always has something up his sleeve. He just couldn't let us alone and let us landslide, huh? So he believes it. Another former Raven, Ray Lewis,
champion, Hall of Famer.
Gee, you know your stuff with the American
star,
sport.
Ray Lewis.
You cannot tell me somebody wasn't sitting there and when they say the Ravens are about to blow them out, man, we better do something. Flick the switch. They couldn't do that, could they?
Surely not. Surely not.
Could they?
If it works, maybe if we're struggling throughout the game and it's a night game, surely Collingwood Football Club have a few connections where they can turn the light off and... remember, I don't know if you remember, this has nothing to do with someone deliberately doing it. But
by the way, San Fran scored 17 unanswered points, but the Ravens still won. Right.
When we were when I used to play for the Giants, first time we'd ever beaten Sydney, I don't know if you remember, round 1, 2014, big brother versus little brother, we'd never beaten Sydney.
That's right.
It was lightning, and Sydney were up by probably 4 goals at that stage.
I remember this game.
It was lightning. The game got called off, not called off, got just stopped for a bit.
Yeah.
So quarter time, we went in like it was half time, had a 30-minute break, came out and we won the game. The weather, mate. Conspiracy on the weather. Storm from X-Men?
Yes.
Storm came out.
I don't know Storm from X-Men, mate.
You'd know Storm from X-Men, wouldn't you? Say, come on, Halle Berry played Storm in X-Men. Come on.
Right, now this is something you're right across.
Yes, I am.
The Michael Jordan flu game, 1997. That's 20 years ago.
It is.
MJ scored 38 points with the flu to win Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Did he really have the flu? Because Jalen Rose questioned whether he was actually hungover. So Tim Grover, Jordan's personal trainer, said it was food poisoning from a bad pizza.
It was, mate. Jordan wouldn't do that.
There's no bad pizza.
He wouldn't drink the day before games. What game was it? Game 5 of the finals.
I've never heard of anybody getting food poisoning from a bad pizza.
Well, mate, he might have had chicken on it. Chicken gives you bad... If it's undercooked, mate, you're in trouble.
Not in America, mate.
Mate, he was in the... It says it here. He was in the fetal position when he came into his room at 2 o'clock.
Can I tell you this?
That day.
You're in Chicago.
Out and dominated.
Chicago is the home of pizza. Yeah, it's the greatest pizza city in the whole world.
First off...
He's not having chicken on a pizza in Chicago.
Marco, listen.
What?
The game was in Utah.
Was it?
Yes. The game was in Utah.
Right.
So it didn't happen in Chicago.
Right.
Unless you got a takeaway from Chicago.
Well, those Mormons might have... They may well have chicken on pizza up there in Utah.
And he come out and single-handedly carried that team to the finals that year.
All right, okay. And what about this one? Now, this is a little bit. This is another one on MJ.
Dodgy one, this one.
Months before Jordan announced his first retirement, 1993, the NBA launched an investigation into his gambling behaviour. Mm-hmm. He also said in his retirement press conference that he may come back to the NBA. Now, listen, this is important. If the commissioner, David Stern, lets me back in the league. Of course he's going to let him back in the league. So,
best thing that's ever happened to the game of basketball.
That's a little word, but it's a big word in a little sense.
That is.
If David Stern lets me back in the league, that tells me that he had some gambling issues.
He did have gambling issues. He always did.
Maybe, who knows? He might have been gambling on the wrong.
You know what I used to read about in his book? You need to read his book.
Should never bet on.
He's a keen golfer, MJ.
Yeah, he's no good though.
Is he no good?
No, he hopeless.
Have you seen him play?
Yeah, he was going to turn pro. To him? He was a better. I'll tell you how bad he's a better baseballer than he was a golfer.
Was he?
Yeah.
He wasn't bad at baseball though.
He was a million miles away from playing professional golf. Yeah, go on.
You talk about his gambling habits. He used to bet. Like he would go up against whoever he was going and say, whoever gets closest to the hole, I'll give you $1 million. That's how he used to gamble.
Yeah, I believe that.
It's ridiculous.
They're mad over it. They play for $1,000 a hole.
It is mad.
$1,000. I mean, there's a guy called David Duval. I used to play practice rounds with him.
Yeah.
Sorry to get away, but
no, that's right. Everyone wants to hear this.
He wanted to play. Like I was only on the seconds tour back then. It was called the Hogan Tour. He wanted to play $1,000 a hole. So I'm playing $1,000 US a hole back in 1992, not knowing what was going on.
How'd you go? Did you win?
No, he used to clean me up a bit, the bugger.
I would have quit after I lost the first
But
time.
it was good practice. I'll tell you what, you got better at it. I can tell you this. Now,
what's this one?
New Zealand, South Africa, Rugby World Cup final 1995. Now, this is the first major event that South Africa had after apartheid. Yes, so it was a big one. Important that the Springboks win.
What?
A large chunk of the New Zealand team had food poisoning. Now, they blamed it on the restaurant, betting syndicates, and also a mysterious waitress named Susie. So the whole team...
Where have you found this, Sam?
The whole team got food poisoning the night before the final.
Come on.
What was the movie called, Sam? Was it Invictus or something?
Invictus.
Great movie.
Matt Damon was in.
I can't remember the food poisoning being put in the movie.
Come on.
Weird that it got left out.
That should have been in the movie.
Who would have come up with that conspiracy? New Zealand, the All Blacks, you reckon?
Oh, well, if the whole team gets food poisoning...
Yeah, but I don't think Susie would have gone out of her way to give him food poisoning.
I know, you give Susie 500 Rand and she could slip in a few bad anchovies.
Come on, they're not that bad.
Maybe they have chicken.
Who's going to eat anchovies at day?
They may well have chicken on their pizza over there in South Africa. They may well. Now, thanks very much to our great friend Subway. There they are, right in the background. Always on our background here. Now, your turn,
yes,
AT.
Yes, it is. Inside story.
What have you got for us this week?
Well, it's been a massive week in my life this past week.
Why is that?
In my gaming life.
Oh, your gaming life?
Yes. As you know, mate, I'm a keen gamer. I like all the Xbox games.
How many hours a week? How many hours a week would you spend gaming?
Not that. Like I talk about
an hour
it, but not
a day?
A lot. Not every day. No. Right. Maybe like every second, third day.
Just
maybe.
winding down.
I'll sit there and play a game of whatever I'm playing. Right. But AFL Evolution came out, mate.
What is it
Finally.
Like? What's it like playing a game when you're actually in the game?
Well, it's pretty cool because I was in the game in the first AFL Live.
Is your rating improved?
Horrendous. I was only 60. In the second game, I was like 70. But in this third one, I'm 84, mate.
You're up to 84?
I'm 84. And my first game, played against Bulldogs and a my player, and I think I had 38 and kick 4.
Nice.
And it was only 5-minute quarters.
This could work.
So there you go, mate.
Only 5-minute quarters.
And do you follow me on Instagram?
Yes, I do.
Did you see the video against Master Bucks?
I could only cop a minute of it, though. I didn't know what you were talking about.
Master Bucks. So Master Bucks, he gets paid to play games. He's a blogger. He's a YouTube blogger, subscriber.
He's good,
obviously. Has 350,000 subscribers. First time we picked up the game, we played.
Yeah.
I'd never played it before. He'd never played it before. Mate, he's a gamer. I'm a paid footy player. He's a paid gamer.
And he's a genius with
Carlton v Collingwood, I versed him. I won 65-3. Or to 6.
You won?
6. I won. And then he goes, all right, we'll play again. I'll go a different team. He went as Port Adelaide. I stayed as the Mighty Pies. And I won by about 4 goals. So
you smashed the gamer.
Look, mate, I should probably take that up post-footy, I reckon.
I know. Well, you've got a media career and a bit of gaming.
And a gaming career,
Gaming on the side.
So there you go.
You'd probably make more money gaming the way things are going.
Probably. But I need to get you over to my house so I can verse you at it.
Yeah, no, Kelly's in, mate. He would love to.
All right, we'll get Kelly over.
Now, identical twins in sport. Got us thinking a little bit before with the Morris brothers. Nathan and Mitch Brown. Which one do you see around here? His wife plays netball
Mitch,
here?
That's Mitch.
So we're always seeing Mitch here.
You know, I remember when I do this thing on, I used to do the women's footy show. I did a couple appearances for that. And Mitch Brown, I didn't know at the time, but Mitch Brown does AFL WA on Channel 9, I think it is. Right. And I remember walking into the, I walked into the where you get the makeup done. Yeah. And I seen Mitch Brown sitting there, but I thought it was Nathan Brown. But I didn't say anything because I'm like, what the heck? What's Nathan doing here? I don't want to say anything because I don't know if it's him. So then he hopped up and looked at me. And because we didn't know each other, we just said hello and sat down. So that's when I knew it wasn't Nathan Brown. I'm like, thank God for that. I would have walked in and just completely ignored Nathan Brown, but it was Mitch Brown. So thank you.
Brad and Chris Scott we spoke about, both coaches in the AFL, and both shared a membership at Huntingdale.
For funny reason.
A little bit dodgy there, but well done to the
Mike
boys.
And Bob Bryan. I remember these two.
Doubles tennis, the Bryan brothers.
From Smash Court Tennis Pro Tournament 2, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah, the Xbox games.
You're unreal.
And Robin Lopez.
No, I don't know much about them.
You don't?
Tell me
They're
about them.
identical twins, but they don't try and look as identical. So Robin Lopez has like this afro, and Brooke only has like small hair, so you can clearly tell the difference there.
I'm so good. You know what I don't like about twins?
What?
Mum's dressing them up the same. It's like, just
what's wrong with that, mate?
Don't do that.
You can't do that if they're born a girl.
Pictures, but come on. Don't do that, mums.
Come on.
All right, now, my turn for the You Wouldn't Believe
Here we
It. Back on the twins. Well done, Sammy.
No idea whether this is true or false.
A set of identical twins in the UFC have spent years confusing everybody.
I don't believe it already.
How about their mum and dad just giving them these names? Now, listen to this. Antonio Rogero Nogueira. Antonio Rodrero Nogueira and Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira.
All right, there you go. How cool.
They're both mixed martial arts fighters. One fights as a heavyweight, the other as a light heavyweight.
Well,
they've earned the nicknames Big Nog and Little Nog. True or not true?
Well, you've gone into detail a little bit, and that's a pretty hard nickname to come up with, so I reckon it's true.
Yeah, it is true. What about the middle name?
True,
Why would you give them a different name at the start?
Rodrigo and Rodrigo.
They're both called Nogueira. The only way the difference is their middle name.
One of them must clearly be bigger than the other one. Because if one of them's a heavyweight and one's a light heavyweight, then you can clearly tell which one's who. Mm. But if they're in the same weight class, then it would be crazy.
I wonder if they're sparring against each other.
Big Noggy.
You couldn't do that.
Big Noggy and Little Noggy.
Klitschko brothers, their mum said no fighting you two, so they never have.
The old Noggers.
Finally, do you care?
Big Noggy and Little Noggy.
Yeah, the old Noggers. Just living down the street. Righto, do you care? Soccer, Melbourne victory.
This is disappointing.
They lose the A-League Grand Final, losing to Sydney in a penalty shootout.
Yeah, but we go from Melbourne Heart, don't we? Is it Melbourne Heart? Is that what they're called?
No, that's where Timmy Cahill plays.
But I'm happy. Melbourne City, that's right. They gave us a Treloar jumper.
Yeah, that's right.
Our boys at Melbourne City. Get around them.
Well,
so I don't care because it's their arch enemy, Melbourne Victory. So
I'll tell you what I do care about. You go a whole season, Sydney FC. They lead the whole way, and instead of just going, okay, grand final, you go 15 minutes, then you settled on a penalty shootout.
I didn't get to see it, but I've seen
who was on top of the ladder after that.
Of it. And was it a crazy penalty shootout? Was it good?
Well, Victory were leading early.
Were they?
Sydney had the first miss, and they ended up winning.
And then Barisha scored.
Barisha scored the 20-minute mark. Standard Barisha stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sydney FC, congratulations to them. Man City have been given an academy transfer ban after trying to recruit an 11-year-old.
Is that even serious, or is you joking there?
Can you imagine being recruited at the age of 11?
Where's he going to play?
That's the academy, so they can recruit young players, but they tried to pluck one of Everton's
Must be a good 11-year-old.
Yeah.
Must be a freaking good 11-year-old.
Righto. So they've got an academy transfer ban.
Well, there you go.
I know.
Didn't even know you could do that.
Well, you shouldn't do the wrong thing, so I
wonder what his name was.
A VFL game at Simmons Stadium on the weekend was delayed after the siren sound for 15 minutes. It wouldn't stop. The players from both Geelong and Box Hill had to go back in the rooms.
So what?
Yeah, I saw a tweet, and you pushed the button so you could see what was going on, and all you could hear was... And
that's all that was happening?
Just went for as long as the tweet went.
And did the play go on?
Yeah, it
afterwards?
did. Eventually.
Oh, wow.
What'd they do? They just bash it with a hammer or something?
That was it.
I don't know. They went back in. The players went back into the rooms, and the siren just kept on going.
Oh, right, yeah. They get a car horn for the siren after that.
What do they do? How sore would you be going back in and come back out?
In the NBA, the Washington Wizards go on a 26-0 streak.
Phenomenal.
In the third quarter, they beat Boston.
Today,
they beat Boston.
Must have just printed this off because I've seen that.
Where was Isaiah Thomas?
No, this is game 4 in Washington. Okay. So Boston won the first 2, Washington won the second 2.
Okay.
I still pick Washington to win this series, but you probably don't give it.
No, I do. I love the sport. I love NBA. I think it's fantastic.
26-0 streak. That's a massive. Yeah, it's huge.
When they get to the final playoff, the big one, that's
when everyone cares.
That's when
all the bandwagoners jump on.
That is true. Now, tennis. Novak Djokovic has sacked his entire team of support staff. I didn't know this.
What?
Coach, trainer, physio, all got the chop. As Djokovic said, he needed a fresh start. Do you care?
They do. That's crazy.
Oh, I can't.
Is he struggling at the moment? Is he?
Well, there's been a few issues around maybe his marital situation.
Poor fella.
Yeah.
My favourite women's tennis
player is back
anyway.
Who's that?
Maria Sharapova's back, isn't she?
Oh, did you see that she's playing in the next round? What's the Canadian girl?
Oh, Jeannie Bouchard.
Yes,
she's my second favourite.
Well,
I wonder why.
This is a grudge match.
Jeannie and Maria.
We've got to get an update on this.
Why is it a grudge match?
Because Eugenie called Sharapova or Sharapova.
Sharapova.
Yeah, that's what some
Maria
people call her. A cheat because of what's happened. They said that the ATP should have done more to get her out. Oh. So she called her not a cheat, she called her a cheater.
And so then, are they playing each other?
Yes, in the next round.
Who are you going for?
Eugenie. You?
Eugenie. I'm going for probably Sharapova.
She's a cheater, though.
No, she's not.
It's going to be great to watch that game.
Wait, is she actually a cheater? I don't know, actually.
Well, she took this Millennium drug,
so she got banned for cheating.
It starts with an M, I know that, and it's illegal. And she got an email in January saying not allowed to take this anymore, but she didn't read her emails.
Oh wow!
So they tested her at the Australian Open.
She would have read her emails. You're joking me, aren't you? Everyone reads
their
emails.
That's what she said.
Oh,
so they got her at the Australian Open.
I think Jeannie might have just passed Maria Sharapova in my favourite list right now.
There you go.
Last minute we've just had.
Last one. The NBA, back to the NBA. Portland Trailblazers guard Damian Lillard.
What a legend.
Convinced all his teammates to donate the money they earned in the playoffs to the team's admin staff. How good is that?
Did you just call him Damian Lillard?
Yeah, I did.
Damian Lillard?
Lillard. That'll do.
There we go.
Like
Damian
Dillard's.
Lillard.
Like Dillard's, except
Lillard's.
Dillard's. Righto.
We'll call him Damian Lillard.
How about that?
Yeah, that's cool. That is cool. Very nice of him.
Maybe you could convince all the Collingwood boys to help out everybody in the crew down here.
We'll definitely do that. But look, I think Damian Lillard's on a $120 million Adidas deal, and
that sort of stuff.
That's not even taking into his account what his contract is. So that's a private shoe deal. So I reckon there's a little bit more money he can give away than what we can give away, but we can still help out.
10,000 a game in the NBA playoffs kind of pales in an
Have you seen what a fine is in the NBA compared to a AFL game?
What do they fine?
Look, I don't know what we get fined here. I remember I got fined a couple of times for just wrestling and might have been $2,000 fine.
Yeah.
I think they get like $15,000 fines for getting ejected and stuff.
It's probably nothing to them.
You're joking me.
15,000 of them would be like 50,000 there. It would not much at all. No, the other way around. It'd be like $500.
I wanted to actually say one thing. Do you remember? Did you see LeBron James last week? I just wanted to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Did you see in that game when he was going to hit that three in the corner? You might have seen it, Sammy.
Yeah.
And Serge Ibaka for Toronto Raptors was guarding him.
Yeah.
And he had the ball. And he spun this is in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
This is the game they're playing. He catches the ball. He looks around and he spins the ball twice in his hand whilst looking at it, and then just pulls up and hits a three in Ibaka's face. And everyone's been coming out saying it's the most disrespectful thing they've ever seen. And I thought it was the greatest thing that I've ever seen.
That sounds like the greatest thing I would like to see. I love that.
So if you were guarding, say...
And you start spinning the ball, I'd be going, what are you doing, man?
Say I gave away a free kick to a footy player. Yeah. Say I gave away a free kick on the weekend to a Carlton player.
Yeah.
And I got up off the ground and he was showing the ball in my face.
Yeah.
And walked back. I'd probably want to punch him fair and square in the face. LeBron James spun the ball twice in front of him and just jab stepped and hit the three-pointer. Do you reckon that's disrespectful? That is shocking.
I need to see it.
I still love that because he's the king. You need to see it. You need to see it. After this, you need to see it.
What I don't want you to do is any of that stuff on Saturday.
I won't, mate.
Up in Sydney. It's a twilight game. The Pies taking on GWS. They beat them last time out, folks. Let's get right behind our boys, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks to our friends at Subway, this has been another episode of Sports Galore. If you've got feedback on the show or you have a topic you'd like the guys to talk about, use the club's official social channels to let us know. Go Pies.